Good morning. I am Jane Correa, and my pronouns are she, her, and you are very welcomed here at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Palo Alto. We gather, our different paths entwined, to deeper our spiritual lives, nourishing connection, learning from each other, caring for each other, and tending to our world. Please scooch over to make room for groups of 3 or more if necessary. Today we gather on unceded stolen land of the Tamien and Ramaytush people. We acknowledge these communities in the interest of truth and justice, awareness and gratitude. In order to dismantle the ongoing legacies of settler colonialism, we pledge to join the Tamien and the Ramaytush people whenever they ask us for solidarity. Masks are not required, but are strongly encouraged. We express our mutual respect by supporting each other's decisions about masking, distancing, and other health measures. If you're here in person and you have questions about Unitarian Universalism or this congregation, stop by the welcome table with the blue tablecloth and chat with one of the friendly folks of our membership team. You can leave your contact information if you want to receive notifications of upcoming events. And if this is the week you want to join our congregation, you can also do that there today. For all the mothers, I'd like to say Happy Mother's Day. And here is a short passage by Linda Susan Ulrich. For all the mothers and mother figures, the grandmothers, aunts, and extended family members who mother, the soon-to-be mothers, the wish they were mothers and the never wanted to be mothers, the it's complicated mothers, the birth mothers, the foster mothers, adoptive mothers, and stepmothers, the used-to-be dad mothers, and the more than one mom mothers, the single mothers, separated mothers, stay-at-home mothers, unhoused mothers, the grieving mothers, and those who grieve their mothers, and those whose grief is complex. For all the communities that mother, and for all who depend on the great mother, you are held and beloved. And now, let us begin our service.
Francesca Zappia said that intelligence is not measured by how much you know, but how much you have the capacity to learn. And I say that your intellect, awareness, and kindness together give you that capacity.
With our centering words each week, we draw on the many sources of our living tradition. Today's words are from Leo Tolstoy. The kinder and more intelligent a person is, the more kindness they can find in other people. Kindness enriches our life. With kindness, mysterious things become clear, difficult things become easy, and dull things become cheerful. As we follow the sound of the bell into silence, we allow ourselves to arrive here fully.
Good morning. If you are young or young at heart or want to sit on the floor with us, please come join me for the story for all ages on our colorful quilt. Excuse me. This is a story about learning. And oftentimes when we are quite small, a lot of times when we learn, we hear the word no a lot. Might be familiar. So this story is called No, David. And yeah, you might know this story. So when you hear the word no, I want everyone to say David. Can we practice? All right, no. Wow, excellent. All right, so let's read no. David, excellent. The story is called No, David. Dave's mother always said, no. 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 No, no. Come back here, David. Look at him go. David, be quiet. That's enough, David. Look at all that food. Go to your room. Uh-oh. Settle down. Settle down who? David. Stop that this instant. David. Put your toys away. David. Not in the house, David. I said no, David. But when we learn, when we're small, the best way to learn is by love. So we'll hear what happens at the end of the story. Davy, come here. And we say, yes, David, I love you. So we can learn and make lots of mistakes and be very silly and eat lots of food, maybe eat too much food. We might hear, no, no, no. But in the end, it's all grounded in love, love, love. Thank you for listening to my story this morning. Please join me in singing number 123, Spirit of Life. Words are on the screen. And after the hymn, I invite all my friends to come to Children's Chapel for religious education and coming of age.
Please bless Pope Leo and his focus on the poor, the immigrants, the workers, and love and peace. Thank you, yes. And then also, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. That was very kind, thank you. Okay. And if there's nothing else, then now let us take a few moments of silent prayer or meditation to hold all that we've heard with compassion and care. Blessed be. Please join in singing Our World is One World. This is number 134 in our gray hymnal, and the words will be on screen and in the online order of service. As many of you know, I have a neurodivergent daughter whose knowledge on any given subject on any given day seems to change with how the wind blows. Her developmental pediatrician told me that an individual's IQ is stable by the age of 7. Incredulous, I asked him if my IQ was really the same today as it was when I was 10 years old. He said, of course not, because I, like he, have been in cognitive decline since our late 20s. And yet, I feel like I am so much more capable than I was in my 20s. My daughter's educational therapist has told me that cognitive decline doesn't have to be inevitable so soon in life. In fact, through the listening therapy she does with her clients, her own IQ, in addition to that of her students, has improved. Listening therapy helps with a wide range of executive functioning skills, as well as verbal comprehension, working memory, and visual processing, which are 3 areas of Binet's IQ test. The other 2 areas are fluid reasoning and processing speed. In France, Alfred Binet was asked to design a test for students to figure out who might need extra help with their learning in school. However, Binet never meant it to be used for an intelligence test. It was the Americans that did that. He knew it is inadequate as a measure for intelligence. This test covers only 5 areas of our brains. There are so many other areas and aspects of our lives. Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences highlights 8 kinds of intelligence. Some of them there are There is bodily kinesthetic intelligence, as we see with athletes, musical intelligence for pianists and harpists and composers, linguistic intelligence for authors and orators, interpersonal intelligence, highlighted by those who can tell what someone's smile means from across a crowded room, and naturalistic intelligence for those with the ability to recognize and work with plants and animals in the natural world. And most significantly, IQ tests fail to capture human potential. Feeling passionate and engaged about something is essential to our potential. We invest more time into things we love and thus become better at them. Openness to experiences and emotions can trigger creativity. Psychologist Scott Barry Kaufman notes that those who score poorly on Binet's IQ test are often the most creative people. People in the arts constantly see things with fresh eyes. In fact, Kaufman notes that different cognitive abilities come at the expense of one another. Do you have an innate talent? Do one of Gardner's intelligences exemplify you? Or do you have a deep passion and thus deep knowledge of a certain area? When I think about multiple intelligences, I remember my dad's sense of direction, how he never got lost, and how he could pack a car carefully with 4 bikes, a canoe, 2 dogs, and enough supplies for the family for an entire week on Cape Cod. I think of my daughter Daphne, who reads a book a day and writes beautiful stories and poems showcasing linguistic intelligence. No one snuggles as sweetly as Rainy, my son, nestling his head against my neck and tucking his arms underneath my arm for warmth. My husband, Ravi's open-mindedness and generosity of spirit is unparalleled. For me, the new experience of motherhood expanded my capacity to love and taught me patience I didn't know I had or needed. And for my daughter, Adele, her dream is to open an animal sanctuary one day to care for all the animals that do not have a home. For her, the ultimate good in the world is to be kind to animals and to things that are smaller and with less agency than we. We have no idea how great our potential is. Openness to experience, passion, and determination can bring us to greater heights. We need to celebrate and appreciate all kinds of intelligence.
Today's reading is from an article by Hacking HR titled "A Kind Leader is Not a Soft Leader." So there are 5 myths about kind leaders. Kindness means avoiding difficult communications. Kindness means prioritizing people over results. Kindness in leadership is a sign of weakness. Kind leadership is incompatible with accountability. And kindness is an innate merit and not a leadership skill. This article talks about 7 core attributes of kind leadership: empathy and emotional intelligence, active listening and open communication, accountability with compassion, authenticity, inclusive decision making, recognition and appreciation, and growth mindset. I want to revisit one of them, which is inclusive decision making, which is often misunderstood as a need for the people who are being included. It is not that need. The need comes from the leader to make sure they have a comprehensive view before they make a decision. There are 2 ways to spot a leader, according to this article. Number 1, watch for empathy in action. And number 2, watch them grow others. I don't know if anyone has attended any of the services I led before, but I have been passionate about talking about wellness, and this is the first time I've been moved to talk about politics. So maybe we can start with the slides. There has been politicization of IQ lately, and at the center of this storm is Elon Musk. Musk is mistakenly known as a genius who founded PayPal, Tesla, and SpaceX. Wait a second, he was not a founder of either PayPal or Tesla. And his IQ is estimated to be 100 to 110, which is considered average. And 68% of the world's population has an estimated IQ, which is average, between 85 to 115. If you need more evidence, there is an engineer who I used to worked with him at Twitter, and did not think that he was bright at all. Musk also famously said that government does not use SQL, or also known as SQL. It's a very basic database query language, which any software engineer worth their salt will tell you is most definitely used by government. If there is a database, there is SQL. Next slide, please. Also, Musk has not been the richest guy for very long. He has been in that spot in the last 3 out of 4 years, mainly with the rise of Tesla stock. Next slide, please. And this position, as you can see, I don't have 2024 and 2025 where Musk is, but this position keeps changing hands every few years. So just wait for a few years. Next slide, please. So the question comes, are rich people really intelligent? There has been a long-standing narrative that richer you are, smarter you are. First of all, anecdotal evidence tells me differently. I have personally witnessed billionaires making nonsense recommendations. And publicly, we all have seen that. Fortunately, these people had much smarter people working for them who did not implement those recommendations. I have also heard disgusting, misogynistic, and bigotry-filled recommendations from billionaires, personally. In my definition of intelligence, which we'll come to in a bit, you cannot be vile and intelligent at the same time. There is a narrative to separate general intelligence, or IQ, from emotional intelligence or other types of intelligence. And I'm here to offer issues with that. Let's see what the data says. Research study done over 60,000 men in Europe says that IQ was a factor in their earnings up to 60,000 euros. And after that, it had negligible effect. In fact, the ultra-rich were relatively less intelligent. Being a man and being lucky are in fact higher predictors of being wealthy. A lot of people I know, and a lot of people I'm sure you know, just don't value being rich. So the reverse is also true. Poor people are not necessarily dumb. Let's come to the measures of intelligence. First IQ test was administered in 1904. It was developed in France to test which school children needed help. And later on, it became misused, even weaponized, and lately politicized. IQ tests have been used to administer forced sterilization to people with low IQ in Virginia in 1920s. They have been used to kill children in Nazi Germany. Even today, IQ tests are misused for discriminatory practices. While there have been questions about also the reliability of IQ tests, they have been proven to be a reasonable tool to measure reasoning and problem-solving skills. They can be used to identify students who need academic support, employees who may need additional training, and elderly who may need assisted living. But there are better ways to measure human potential. Like Jane alluded to, how many of you think that ability to better manage clutter at home is a form of intelligence? How about a natural ability to identify and work with plants? or understand mountains. Are these forms of intelligence? Howard Gardner in 1983 said that they are. He offered his theory of multiple aspects of intelligence. Next slide, please. Let's see this infographic for a moment. I guess the part which is hidden on the, okay, now we have it, is body kinesthetic. Which ones do you identify with? Which ones do you think your loved ones may be good at? Let's take a moment. How can you move your body to get something done? How can we produce or listen to music, even if you don't produce music? How do you understand nature? How do you manage space around you? If you look at this list, the ones which are most emphasized in our society are linguistic and logical mathematical. If you have those two, you get paid a lot. And the third one comes interpersonal. But you can see the top section and intrapersonal are not some things which are emphasized. So Gardner not only offered these 8 set of intelligences, he also said that his theory can accommodate more types of intelligence, more dimensions. And I would argue that self-awareness and empathy are 2 very important measures of intelligence. They become especially important when there are no easy decisions, and our species and the planet needs leaders who can understand nuances and make smart decisions which benefit the most of us and our future generations. Just imagine somebody is planning to build a dam, and in addition to the engineer, you also include somebody who understands nature, who understands people, who understands language, and what happens inside us. Let's move on to somebody I don't know whether you've heard of, but I call him Ken Wilber. He is the smartest guy you may have never heard of. I have often imagined taking a year off just to read his work. For context, Al Gore drew inspiration from Wilber's ideas. In 1995, Ken Wilber came up with integral theory, which showed levels of consciousness in 2 dimensions. Next slide, please. Previous. His dimensions, he has 10 levels of consciousness which are divided into 2 dimensions. Levels of growing up and levels of waking up. Levels of growing up means how we see the world. Do we see it at a personal level, at a tribal level, at national level, global level, cosmic level? Whereas waking up is about how we know the truth inside us, who we are. So when you think about levels of growing up, maybe think about Ralph Waldo Emerson. Or when you think about levels of waking up, think about Buddha. Wilber is criticized for never publicizing in a peer-reviewed journal. He is also criticized for not being able to make a difference in practical terms. And his Integral Institute is criticized for being an echo chamber. To be honest, his synthesis of his spirituality, politics, religion, and spirituality is not meant to be correct or precise. It needs to be thought as inspirational framework. Next slide, please. So here is a graph which shows percentage of population by consciousness levels. We'll go into specifics of each of these levels, but generally speaking, think of it as left side is more personal, right side is more global and cosmic. So more grown up and more woken up is on the right side, and at the peak of it is something which is called, I think, the amber level, and that is more about being patriotic or like love it or leave it nationalism. There are implications of all of this in politics and how we can win politics. So next slide, please. This is a bit of an eye chart, but if you look at this, these are the bottom 4 levels. The first one is like an infant. When you come into the world, you don't know who you are just like dependent on everybody. When you grow a little bit more, but you don't grow enough, you can develop superstitions, you can be part of gangs. That's tribal. Moving further, you may have a notion of feudal kingdoms, or you may be narcissist, and that's number 3. And number 4 is the kind of people who support authoritarian, fundamentalist, or patriotic ideas. And when I say patriotic, it is more towards love it or leave it nationalism. What is astounding here is that 70% of the world's population, this is an estimate, and who knows about whether it's right or wrong, but very high number of this of world's population falls into this category. Next slide, please. Then we go into more levels of growth, which are rational, scientific, but also contains liberal self-interest. Green level, which is about empathy, diversity, eco-justice, animal rights. Now you're going beyond human beings. You're talking about the world as a whole. And the teal level, which is talking about things where you see holistic hierarchies. That is where you can integrate many ideas, you can see other people, their views, and incorporate their views. You can incorporate differences and pluralities without any problem. You're not at odds with other people's views, even though you may differ from them. And finally, next slide, please. You move into these levels. I'm not going to describe these in details, and we could maybe talk afterwards. But these, as you can see from the bottom up, they talk about when your personal self is dissolved, and this is the levels of waking up. Think about Buddha, or think about people who can manage to live the truth inside them as well as truth outside of them. There are only 0.1% of such people. Keep in mind that these levels are not fixed. There is no single human being who stays in a particular level all the time. We move between levels. Depending upon how we feel, how emotional we are, we keep moving up and down. And that's very important to understand, because anytime a leader who we respect, if they behave differently, we say, oh my God, they're failing us. But it's possible that this is just that they are not at their highest level and today. So where do we go from here? Next slide, please. We need to combine Gardner and Wilber. Next slide. What can we do for the world? So all these different aspects which Jane and I talked about, musical, nature, space, interpersonal, mathematical, linguistic, all these different kinds of intelligence needs to be combined with how we see the world and how we see ourselves. That combination has the key. Next slide, please. In both models, empathy is the key. Gardner's models, intrapersonal and interpersonal intelligence, results in having more empathy. Having a wider perspective and deeply knowing the truth in Ken Wilber's model takes us to more empathy. Either way, it becomes clear that empathy is really an important measure of intelligence, and we are losing that over time, and we must start to reclaim its importance. Next slide. Shifting to basketball. National men's basketball is in the playoffs currently, and this week, Denver Nuggets played the top seed Oklahoma City Thunder. And Nuggets' top player played very poorly, but they still won. And I was watching the interviews. So Nuggets coach called one of their players the soul of their team for his selfless and focused play. And by the way, that player is Aaron Gordon from San Jose, from Bay Area. And when this player was asked how he felt about that comment, he thought for a moment and said, I'm not the soul. We are all a soulful group of people. And when another player from that team, Jamal Murray, was asked about what was their secret of outscoring Thunder, he said that their team valued difference of opinion, took healthy criticism from each other because they knew it comes from the heart, and they held each other accountable. And he said something very simple and very deep. He said, we needed all of us to succeed. Both of them showed high levels of empathy, decency, and ability to go beyond. There is a powerful connection between decency, kindness, and how we are doing as a country and species. We are declining in a key form of intelligence, namely empathy. We are missing the soul of the team. But imagine if we have that, it would keep us strong even if a particular important figure has a bad night. Basketball matches at the highest level are nothing short of a crisis. They are a battle. And our planet and our world is in a real crisis right now. If a basketball team needs everyone to win a game, we need all of us to survive. There is no way a few individuals, Trump, Musk, or Thiel, can save us. There is a practical math problem, though. Next slide, please. Let's review this again. 70% of the people are not going to be moved by the messages of globalism, empathy, and cosmic importance. So the remaining 30% who do understand that, they cannot win a democratic election, especially by taking a high road. Next slide. So when Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high, does not work. Next slide. When they go low, we need to go low too, while staying high. What does that mean? We need to go low in our messaging, but we need to stay high in our scope and content. The ideas necessary for global and planetary well-being and survival must also be packaged in terms of personal gains, tribal gains, and national gains. When we say that polar bears are at the brink of extinction, it does not mean much to many people. We need to talk about how floods and wildfires are affecting them and their kins, how climate technology can create jobs, how immigrants benefit us all as a nation, and how playing well with other countries reduces prices of consumer goods. The message must be translated to people at all levels. Messaging at the right level is empathy. It is required. Next slide. The decisions we need to take for our survival are far too nuanced for a person with high IQ to address. We must rethink our jobs to use all of us in making key decisions. Artists, naturalists, computer scientists, clutter organizers, engineers, people with inter and intrapersonal skills. When they all collaborate together, we will not only survive, but we will also leave a world which is enriching for our future generations. Including all of us is empathy, and this form of empathy is not a luxury, it is a must.
We create this space together, not out of wood and glass, nor even out of electricity and binary signals, but out of our presence. Wherever we are today, we have chosen to be together, hoping that together we can do so much more to make our lives into all that we dream of, and make our world into the one we hope to see. If we are moved by gratitude to each other, we may choose to support, with whatever financial resources we can, this community that we are creating and that is creating us. You can use cash or check or the QR code or text info in the order of service. The offering will now be received. Thank you. Please join in singing "We Celebrate the Web of Life," number 175 in the gray hymnal. The words are on screen and in the online order of service.
Whether online or here in the main hall, please stay after the benediction for our conversation time. We all begin with greeting time, a chance to speak to someone you haven't met before or haven't seen in a while. Now, if you are online, please unmute yourself, turn on your video, and touch hands virtually while we say our benediction together. And if you are in the main hall or the patio, reach out to hold hands if you and the person next to you are comfortable with that. Or to show that you are connected in spirit, cross your hands and over your heart.